In the Fuzzy Memories podcast, we celebrate the good, the rad, and the fugly of the 80s and 90s.
We're three latchkey kids who made it out alive.
And in each episode, we break down all the culture that popped, 1 year at a time.
Whether it's the birth of legends...
I'm Lyme disease free today, and I have Whitney Houston and MTV to thank. Or audacious moves.
Imagine also the poor Golden Gate Bridge. You turn 75 and people have a party on you.
Yep. I don't want that.
Or even confusing PSAs.
And the stop, drop, and roll. I mean, I assumed as an adult I would catch on fire weekly.
All the time!
We've got a take that will make you laugh.
We've also got thoughts on all sorts of random phenomena and the most unmitigated of golf.
Why sharks can't be trusted, people can't be trusted, and rivers can't be trusted. It's collusion.
It's of the highest degree.
Uh-huh.
You were counseling me to start my remarks with, first of all, bitch.
Everyone in that room would have snapped to attention.
It's going to be basically coffee lids, shark revenge, and then maybe like Matt Getz. God, we need to do something about him.
Join us every other Wednesday to celebrate the hits, the misses, and the misfits of the weirdest decades.
If I could tell my 14-year-old self from 1990 that I would be eating in a Cheesecake Factory in
Beverly Hills,
I'd be like, we did it. We did it, Joe.
We did it.
Listen and subscribe to Fuzzy Memories on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform.
Broads and Books, the podcast with one unique theme, 4 hand-picked book recommendations, and 2 broads. I'm Erin.
And I'm Amy. And this is episode number 16, Road Trip.
Road trip.
We thought this was absolutely appropriate for this time of year.
It is. It's so perfect. And so maybe our picks don't all have to do with specifically a road trip,
right?
But with summer, vacation.
Yes.
And most of the time a vacation involves some kind of road trip.
Oh, I was going to say meltdown or...
Well, yeah, that
okay,
too. Yeah. That's inherent in a road trip.
Sadness, despair.
Sadness. Why did we decide to do this? Can I just go home?
I question my whole life choices.
Where's my bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that.
But it'll be a great episode. So much
It's
fun.
not an actual road trip, so we'll have fun on it.
You're just taking a literary road trip with us.
Oh, God, that was beautiful.
Wasn't it?
Also, the hand movements you just did there. It was like a swell of the ocean.
It's because secretly I've always wanted to do my own The More You Know commercial.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we should do one.
We should do one.
Yeah.
We should do a series of The More You Know.
I wonder if there's... So this is a minute in. I wonder if there's a record for how soon we come up with a random business idea in each episode. This may be it. Yeah. Erin's actually writing this down.
Oh, I am.
She is on this.
Because I can make this dream come true. I have an avenue and it's going to happen.
Oh boy. Well, so like we said, we're dealing with like road trips, summer vacations, stuff like that. So I thought it'd be good to ask each other a few questions about, road trips, memories, vacations. Did you take road trips with your family, Erin?
I did. We did take quite a few road trips, in fact. Yes. To a few different places. We drove to Florida. I think there was one to Colorado in there, Utah maybe.
And as a reminder, we live in Iowa. So you were driving from Iowa to Florida? Oh,
good times.
That sounds terrible.
Oh, and one distinct road trip, I remember that one of my brothers took, those pullback cars that, you pull it back and then they zoom forward.
Yes.
He pulled it back and then put it on the top of my head. So it wrapped the hair around really, really tight. And we spent like an hour trying to get it on. So that was a good time killer.
Oh, yeah. This is before you had like movies and vans and stuff.
Right. Yeah. No. We had like car bingo.
Right.
Yeah. We didn't have this kind of stuff.
Back in our day.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't that what it sound like? Yeah. And you had to wait for snacks out of like mom's secret bag in the front. You're like...
Raisins.
Yeah. What? Come on. Thought we were getting Cheetos.
No such luck.
Yeah.
You know my primary memory of road trips?
Yes.
We didn't do a ton of them, but I remember, the ones that we did do like South Dakota and to places where family was. We were in my mom's Mercury Cougar.
Get it.
The three of us, me and my brothers, in the back seat. Back seats aren't big in the Mercury Cougar.
No.
And my brothers are twins, so they're sitting on each of the seats, and I'm sitting in the middle seat because I got to separate those boys or they're going to kill each other.
Oh, yeah.
But then, we're all touching. Our legs are touching. Our skin is touching. I'm like, stop touching me. And I'll be honest, I think I was put between my brothers to help them stop fighting. I'm sure I just encouraged it.
Deathmatch, go. It was all part of your plot. Like, I can see what's happening. I can get rid of both of them at the same time.
Get my life back.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. So I just remember a lot of sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Bodies touching.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Knee sweat.
And that
little boy
kinda,
knee sweat.
Little boy knee sweat.
Because they're 5 years younger than me. So they were, much younger. But
yes. We actually forced our younger two to take a road trip like 2 years ago at spring break time because we wanted them to have that experience. We were taking them to Florida and we rented a van.
Oh my God.
Because we're like, you can't, this isn't fair. You have too many wonderful things in your childhood. You need to experience some real, when are we there yet? Yeah, that's what we felt like. And I mean, we rented a van. They had TVs, like they had their own seats and space to like lay down.
It's not a Mercury Cougar.
No.
You got life
I mean,
good.
the name is way cooler than our van was.
That's true.
Mercury Cougar, come on. Come on.
Ugh.
Can you imagine that guy? He's still telling people he came up with that in a meeting. You know what I did? I named the Mercury Cougar. So,
you know what our other car was a Thunderbird. Was it Ford? I don't know which company it was. They were pretty much the same car, just different names, but excellent names.
Good job,
both of them.
Guy.
Yeah.
Maybe they're friends, Thunderbird guy and Cougar.
And that's what I learned to drive on, was the Thunderbird.
Oh.
Dad taught me how to drive.
How to drive a Thunderbird. Did you ever graduate to the Cougar, or was that pre-Thunderbird?
I actually got the Cougar after a little bit when I was in college. It was on its last legs, and it died on the interstate on the way back to college. One winter break. I was like, well,
Cougars aren't meant for the winter.
Has died. Yes.
That's
Cougars are not meant for the winter.
No.
And the cougar was trying to tell me, listen,
I'm out of my natural element.
Like a cat, it's gone out into the wilderness to die on its own.
Yeah. Is that what cats do? They go out into the wilderness to die on their own? Okay. I was like, that's a fact I didn't know.
It is actually, yeah.
Okay, wow, that's great. So you obviously had some great road trips to pull from.
So much.
But even so, maybe now even, what annoys you on a road trip?
I'll be honest. As an adult, the number of annoyances, first of all, just in general, in life, has grown exponentially. Now if I'm on a road trip, I really need to drive because I need to feel in control.
Oh.
I don't like sitting in the passenger seat. Don't like sitting in the back seat.
Yeah.
I can't control the speed. I can't control the music.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I need to be in the driver's seat and blast David Bowie for all to hear.
Right.
And control the AC and everything. Control.
Just everything. Yeah. Gotcha.
So if I'm not in control, everything annoys me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just real quick to the point. It makes it clear why we're good road trip partners because I don't like to drive.
Right?
I wouldn't say it annoys me, but I don't want to be the driver ever.
And you know what? If I'm driving, I can deal with anything, including my passenger puking into garbage bags again and again.
I was surprised you didn't lead with that being annoying on a road trip.
No, I was fine. I was driving. It was fine.
Driving. I didn't know what to do with the music or my hands, but should I? Oh, no. Oh, do you need? No, you got it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, if you hadn't heard that story, that came from one of our previous episodes where we talked about Heavesgate. Might be something we have to bring back at some point.
Yeah, it might be, but you should go
back.
If you don't know, you should be checking out our backlist anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's worth it.
Yeah. What about you, Erin?
For me on a road trip, it's similar in the sense that it needs to be the right passenger because really I can deal with most anything. But if you're the type of passenger that like is going to be terrible, like I don't like this, I don't want this, I don't want to do, then no, we're already out. Like let's have this be an adventure. It's fun. Pick what snacks you want at the gas station. Don't complain and then eat mine. That's not going to work.
Who does that?
If you get a slushie and you get to a certain point, it's done. I don't want to hear your straw. Okay. And we're going to go on a musical journey and you're just going to have to live with it. Okay. I don't know what's coming out. I don't know what's coming next, but you're just going to sit back and enjoy it. And if you have a problem with that, we probably can't ride together.
Oh, you know what we should do? Another idea is put together for this episode a road trip playlist.
Oh, we should.
For our listeners
That'd be
who want to
great.
go on
Yeah.
that musical
Yeah.
journey.
I think we might have to have 2 separate playlists.
And that's fine. That's a fair point. I would choose other than David Bowie. I would have other artists too.
I knew that. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I knew you'd have more than David Bowie.
But we'll have separate playlists. Okay, we can do that.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
So choose which broad you like more and listen to their
gosh,
playlist.
it doesn't have to be that death match again. Something about road trips really brings out the do or die.
Mercenary.
Yeah,
That's right.
you get real.
It's all about survival.
You do. That's amazing. I've never seen this side of you, the survivalist. Ready to throw anyone under the bus on a road trip.
Something about a car just brings out the rage and the control.
Another thing that annoys me on road trips is getting shamed for having to stop to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
because I will
God,
have to stop like 75
multiple
times.
Yeah.
When I was pregnant and we had gone to Hawaii and we had driven, we were in Maui, and instead of like hiking this whole trail, we drove it for obvious reasons. And there's no bathrooms anywhere, and it took a lot longer than we thought. So we're coming back, and I'm like, I'm in an emergency state. Like, this is an emergency. And my husband, who still could not get used to the fact that nobody in Maui drives over like 25.
Oh, that'd be tough for me too.
Yeah, he's speed demon. He's on this stretch that's just wide open, but we're coming to the edge, basically, where we're going to run into some bathroom possibilities. Just blows into town like he's, Don Johnson on Miami Vice and just killing it. Blows right past like 4 places that I could go to the bathroom. And that feeling of like, it's going to give out on me. Like, I'm going to pee my pants in a rental car in Maui. This is how it's going to go down. And he, like, nothing registered. I was like, what? I couldn't even get the words out. And he's like, what? I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. I've been saying it for an hour. It was like the biggest fight we've ever had. We were like, oh yeah, it was bad.
Wow.
I made him pull into a random restaurant and go, I think we had to buy something just for me to use the bathroom. I'm like, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
You're going to buy whatever food they have. I don't care what it is.
Buy the whole freaking restaurant.
I don't care if the fish still has a head on it.
Yep.
And
You're
weird
buying
eyes. Buy it because I have to pee so bad.
It's a good point about the bathroom, though. I think part of the reason I like to be in control is I have to pee all the time, too.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to pull off.
Say, hey, what's up?
And not speed past all of those.
No, he's never done that again.
Good.
In fact, now I think he might have a little PTSD related to that because every time we're on a road trip, he's like, "Do you want me to stop? Do you need me to stop? Do you want me to stop?"
It's good that he lives in fear of you.
You should. Yeah. That's my goal. Mission accomplished. Relationship based on fear. Super healthy.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Yeah.
Well,
should we talk about
I think
picks
so.
with
I want to know what your first
vacations,
pick is.
road trips?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So for my first pick, I chose The Stand by Stephen King from 1978.
Curveball.
There are 3 reasons that I chose this.
Oh, 3. Okay.
But let me first just lay down
All
the
right.
story.
Okay, yeah.
So there's an army base hidden somewhere in the desert, and government is putting together a super flu as like a first strike against someone. It's probably, still in the Cold War or whatever. But by a small series of errors, containment is breached. There's one guy that escapes the base. He and his family get in the car and drive as far away from the base as they can. And in the process, they start infecting people with this flu.
Come on, guys.
Eventually, 99% of the population is wiped out by this super flu called Captain Trips for some reason. Remember that this is before like all the viral apocalypse and even sort of apocalyptic novels of the last 3-4 decades. There's a ton now. This was kind of like the granddaddy, if you will, of all of them. After the flu wipes all these people out, there's this band of survivors that then takes sort of a forced road trip, if you will. They make their way into the Midwest because they're having this unsettling series of dreams that are driving them towards this one town where they can all converge. So we follow them as they go through the road trip. There's a number of different perspectives, so you're seeing a lot of different people in this story. But there's this dark presence growing in Nevada by the name of Randall Flagg, it's kind of cool because if you haven't read a lot of Stephen King, he incorporates a lot of the same characters, settings in multiple novels. Randall Flagg pops up in a few of his novels as this sort of epic villain. So here he's sort of drawing all these kind of through the same thing, like dreams, drawing all these people towards him, and they want to just finish what the apocalypse started. They want to kill everybody. So it builds towards a standoff, and there's another road trip on the way there.
Yeah.
So the reasons I chose this, one, like I said, there's multiple road trips. They're forced, but what road trip isn't forced?
Yeah.
I mean, and they've got all the hallmarks of a road trip. They've got meeting new people, peeing in bushes, taking forever to get anywhere, lots of fighting. I mean, everything you know and love about a road trip.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Another reason I chose this, though, is when I was in high school, I read this during summer vacation. And I was always that kid. I think you and I both were always that kid that didn't want to go outside.
Nope.
During the summer.
Nope.
And I remember very clearly sitting on the couch in the living room and just tearing through this monster of a book. And my brothers are like, let's go outside. Let's do it. I'm like, no, I got to finish this. I'm going to read this. And I'm like crying and, you know, getting excited and everything. So it just, you know, it appealed to me.
Yeah.
As that kid. I think also it's a perfect book to take on a road trip. If you want to get away from your family for a while, dive into this. It's epic. It's complicated, twisty. It's dark. Everything you could want in a good summer read.
Wow. That's a good point.
And it's Stephen King.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
classic.
king for a reason.
Oh, look what you did there.
I didn't plan that. That just came out. I'm pretty proud of that.
Oh, it'd been so much worse if you wrote that.
So much work.
It works because it just is off the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
Yep. Because I realized immediately, oh, that was terrible. That was cheesy. I don't want her to think that I actually wrote that in my notes. No, I
love
did not.
cheesy, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a fan.
So there we go. A forced road trip towards doom. What do you
they all
got?
kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Marching towards doom.
Yes. Well, my first pick is called How to Start a Fire by Lisa Lutz. And this was published in 2015. So she's the author that did the Spellman Files, which I'm a big fan of that series. So this is about Anna, Kate, and George, who are three girls that met on a very drunken night in college and just thrown together from there. For sure. So the story essentially takes you through their life, but we keep flashing to the present day, which is they've all culminated in this road trip at Anna's house, and they're in the backyard around a fire. Like, it's summer, we're enjoying our, break. They're older now, they're adults. So the whole book takes you on a very non-linear journey through their lives and friendship, and kind of their unlikely friendship, because all three of them are so different. So a lot of it centers around summer, what they're doing during the summers when they're apart from each other, when they're not at school, as they get older and they get jobs, and, they're trying to make that time, that space for their friendship. So it's the story of their friendship. It ends in a very interesting way. It culminates in a very interesting way in this backyard situation. But why I like it is because, one, I think Lisa Lutz is amazing at dialogue. Her dialogue's always really sharp and on point, and she does a good job of telling you a lot about the characters through the dialogue instead of telling you. And especially with these three characters, they're so different, and the way that they think and the way that they handle things and the way that they talk to each other just illustrates that. It's perfect. You love all three of them for different reasons. I think you can relate to all of them. They're all characters you would want to go on a road trip with at different points. So I think it's great for that. It's a great summer read because it kind of centers around that time period. It's a little bit of nostalgia of that, throwback to when you didn't have anything else going on but to worry about what you were doing during the summer. And it's just a great story. I say nonlinear because it jumps around a lot. It jumps from present day to college to a little bit further than college, back to present day. So if that trips you up, figure out how to get past it because you don't want to miss this book. It's good. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. It's very different than the Spellman Files, but still great. And I tore through it. So,
did you ever go on a road trip with friends?
Yes.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few. Yeah. I'm trying to think of where we were going.
Yeah.
I remember.
College or anything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A couple, especially later on, things like there was a couple people that from our freshman floor that got married that the rest of us went to their weddings, or, things like that. Like you road trip and see your roommates home and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is.
It's I think you and I have talked about this too, that like you see a different side of somebody when you go on a trip.
Yeah,
with
you
them,
do. You really
for better
do.
or worse.
Yeah, traveling is
Mm-hmm.
there's something about it. There's something about it, isn't there?
Well, as we talked about our own annoyances, I'm sure everybody has their own like things, and once you get out of your comfort zone, it's rife for conflict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really is. Yes. When we made the kids take that trip, we were actually taking them to Disney. So talk about road trip to doom.
Yeah.
For Mike and I were like, this doesn't end in anything great. For them, yes. Us, no. So I remember, by the middle of that week, you're just like, is it okay to say that I will sell my kids to Mickey Mouse? Because I will, for peace and quiet. Not even monetary.
Yeah, I bet Mickey's got a lot of offers like that.
Yeah, I have to imagine.
Please take my children.
But then
maybe for free.
It came full circle when they both were like, we don't want to be here anymore. Can we just go back to the hotel? And I was like, I've never loved you more.
You are my children.
Yeah.
For certain.
Never loved you more than this moment. Yeah. I just want to swim and have some pizza. And I was like, yes.
Oh, God.
Yes, we can do that.
Do you ever just go to a hotel, somewhere, not even out of town, and just spend the weekend swimming? And
No, we probably should. But no, we take them a fair amount just on little getaways. And it always usually involves a hotel with a pool because that's a big thing. But yeah.
Man, I love your kids more than I've ever loved them hearing that thing that they wanted to go to the hotel.
They're pretty smart. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, are you going to do any more road trips like that with your family?
We don't have any on the books. We are taking a vacation in a little bit, but it's by plane. So
smart.
It's not. Yeah. Well, I just may need to have the experience, but I don't need to torture myself. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we did that once, and we're good. We're going to California, so we felt like that was a little bit longer of a drive. Yeah.
I mean, saving your own sanity.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, I'm also taking them on a plane, and my 5-year-old's never been on a plane, so that might be its own kind of situation. Yeah.
That's a good point. I imagine Mason's going to want to get out of there.
Yeah, it's going to go one of two ways. He's going to either be so fascinated and be like best friends with the pilot, we're going to be like, what happened? Like that. Or he's going to be absolutely terrified and everyone around us is going to hate us. Yep. So those are the only two outcomes I see.
If it's the latter, who cares if other people hate you?
Yeah, no, I'm way past that. I mean, it is what it is. We got to get there. Sorry about it. It is what it is. He's 5. You were 5 once, guy. So put away your judgy eyes.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody likes it.
And also, why don't you have something more interesting going on? You don't have something on your phone you could listen to or a book to read?
Me and my kids?
Yeah. Creepy voyeur. Turn around. See what I did there, judgy guy? I'm good at it. So watch it.
I can't wait to hear about this flight.
Oh, it's going to be so great. So,
well, speaking of, flights, more trips, my other genre book is a nonfiction book, kind of a memoir, kind of essay collection. It's called The M Train by Patti Smith from 2015. If you have not had the pleasure of seeing Patti Smith, she's an iconic singer, performer, writer, really instrumental in pushing the punk scene forward in 1970s in New York. She's had a few popular songs. My favorite is Gloria, Gloria, and I will link to that because I can't sing, first of all.
Well, yeah.
And it reintroduces copyright issues.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Anyway.
Shackles.
Patti Smith is also a prolific writer, and she wrote a memoir called Just Kids that was about her in the 70s living in New York with the artist Robert Mapplethorpe. Really great story and book. And I'll save that for another day. But this book, The M Train, is all about travel. She travels physically around the world, going to New York in her favorite cafe where she writes. She's traveling to Mexico, Japan, Tangier, following her obsessions like artists and poets and scientists, even TV shows. And throughout the book, you could tell she was obsessed with watching The Killing at the time, that show with Joel Kinnaman and Maria. Oh, God, so good. So she's writing little pieces about The Killing, how much she loves it. So much so that when this came out, she got a cameo in the last season of The Killing because she was such outspoken. I know.
I was a big fan too, Joel Kinnaman.
I was too.
Come on.
Joel Kinnaman. Erin and I have a thing for Joel Kinnaman. Anyway. So she's traveling around the world physically, but there's a lot of mental travel in this book as well. She's sorting through memories of her past lives, especially the loss of her husband, Fred Sonic Smith, who was the guitarist for MC5. He died very suddenly when their kids were still young. So a lot of still very rough heartbreak about that as well. She writes about writing and creating, about what loss and love feels like. And all throughout, too, I kept thinking of our theme a few episodes ago, but does it have pictures? Because there's pictures all throughout this. What? If that guy had asked you about this one, you'd have been like, guess what?
Guess what, buddy? I can make this happen for you. Here you go.
What I like about this book is she's a firm believer in the power of travel that can transform you. I read this as I was preparing to travel to Dublin for 2 weeks, which was great timing because then while I was in Dublin, I thought about this a lot. Especially when you're jet lagged and you're just feeling like everything is kind of surreal and dreamlike anyway. She really sort of digs into that feeling of what that's like, as well as sort of how travel messes with you and how when you come back from traveling somewhere, you're not quite the same person. You don't quite fit into your life the same way as you did before. Really fascinating. And the way that she writes about that is really wonderful. If you prefer straight narratives without a lot of digression, you may not like this because she's kind of jumping all over the place. But if you are willing to cede control to Patty, she will take you on a journey and you will love it. It's really, it's nothing like nothing I've ever read before. It's really unique and really personal, but also kind of universal at the same time.
Wow.
Made me love Patti Smith even more.
I've never even heard of it. That's fantastic.
Oh, well. Here
Look
it
at
is.
that. Get it.
Yep. What about you, Erin?
I picked a book called The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson.
Yep.
So this was published in 2004, and I picked it because true crime and summertime.
Ugh, absolutely. In Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago. So it follows two different stories. It follows Daniel H. Burnham, the architect of the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. And it also follows at the same time H.H. Holmes, the first and one of the most prolific serial killers.
Damn right.
Who took advantage of the fact that all these people were going to be in Chicago and thought, you know what? If there was a time to kill a guy, it's now.
Mostly girls, right?
Well, yeah. I'd say guy, but no, he was really actually, no.
And actually, time to kill a girl.
He didn't start with a mystery person. He went right for his mistress. So, yeah.
Real
started close to home.
Great.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I guess. Okay. So anyway, it's a historical book, but it reads like a novel. It's really engaging and interesting. The juxtaposition of this like amazing historical event that was a big deal in and of itself, whose story is very interesting. Then have, switching chapters and reading about this criminal who is using the same type of wonderfulness to create his own legacy. Super fascinating. Great job by the author. I loved that tie-in, especially because probably for me, I don't know that I would have picked up a book about the World's Fair in Chicago.
Definitely.
It is, sorry, I guess that makes sorry, I don't want history. I don't want anything real. But
it's true. The way that he combines the two makes it
much
more
it was just very fascinating. And kind of points out a side that you don't think about a lot when we talk about these big events, Olympics, World's Fair. The other side of that brings a whole different, people focus on the economic side and the great exposure it's going to bring your culture, but then they forget about the other side that sometimes it's an opportunity for crazy to come out.
Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery sounds like tomfoolery is a real nice way to say you got murdered. Jeez.
Prank, you got murdered.
I remember when my grandma was a victim of tomfoolery. She always said she hated tomfoolery. And I finally understood why. Yeah. Woo! It was a bloody one, too. So it's really interesting. The story's interesting, even if you know something about this H.H. Holmes, even if you don't. So much interesting facts in there that it was just a fascinating read. It's really going to propel you forward. Like I said, don't be turned off if you're not a history reader. I'm not really either. It reads like a novel. The way that he wrote it's very engaging. And if you need some extra motivation, this is being made into a Hulu series.
Is it?
By Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. It was originally going to be like a film project, and then they decided, like we've been talking about, that they needed more space. So they... Hulu snatched that right up, and Now, I'm not sure. I want to say like fall is what I thought when I heard.
This year?
Yeah. But I don't know that for sure. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So is Leonardo DiCaprio going to play
The
Holmes?
serial killer,
Oh
yeah.
God.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
going to be amazing.
I know, right?
One of the things I remember from that book is how he like built his house into all these like sort of like murder holes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He called it was like a murder castle.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, like a murder castle.
Uh-huh.
So pretty much I had to be in after you called it a murder castle because I was like, what? A murder castle? That's amazing.
But it's so true because I can imagine like this guy just being creepy and going around and picking up all the girls just off the train station from out in
Yeah.
the farms and coming to see the World's Fair. and-
Yeah. Come to my murder castle.
Come
And
to
they're like,
that
nothing
murder
can go wrong. Why wouldn't I go to a murder castle? Actually,
name
that sounds
sounds
like how I
fun.
would die.
Oh.
Oh.
That someone invites you to their murder castle?
I don't know if I could resist an invitation to a
probably
murder
true.
castle.
You probably couldn't. You're like, if you're upfront about it,
You're
I
probably
wanna
not going to
see-
be crazy.
yeah,
I always say
yeah.
that if you're crazy out front, I'm not scared of you. It's the hidden.
true.
So if you came right up to me,
Oh.
I have a murder castle. I'm in, and then oh no, the last 30 seconds of my life would be you actually
you were
met-
serious.
You literally have a murder castle. Oh,
I
okay.
miscalculated.
I thought it was like how I call my fridge a murder fridge because a pop exploded in there and it looks like a crime scene. My outside fridge. I call that the murder fridge. But no, you mean
like an actual murder person.
this is where you actually murder people. Well,
Oh.
that was a weird twist.
Whew,
All right.
bummer.
Who could see that coming?
I wonder if that's actually how he got them. Like, listen, I got an exhibit for the World's Fair.
Yeah, it's called a murder castle. And they're like, yes. Oh, for sure.
Oh, yes. Wasn't he a doctor too?
Yes.
Yeah. Even creepier.
I know. Nefarious doctor lives in a murder castle.
That's right.
So right there, you should be.
You were right on board right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was all in. All in.
What would Keith Morrison say about H.H. Holmes and the murder castle?
First of all, there would be an amazing picture of him leaning on
course
some
there would.
pillar outside of
Yes.
the murder castle.
This is the murder castle.
And he'd have to set the scene because that's what Keith Morrison likes to do.
Sure.
So it would start something like, started on a dark, stormy night. She got off the train. Little did she know she wouldn't be getting back on that train.
Does he say little did she know?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. He says all kinds of cheesy things.
Oh, my God.
But it's glorious coming out of Keith Morrison. Anybody else, you're like, stop it. Stop it right now. I'm not on
Keith
board with the
Morrison.
Keith Morrison. You're like, give me more. I don't know what it is.
I
He's
don't
got
either.
it. I used to hate it when people say that. He's got it. Like, I just can't, I can't actually categorize it, so I'm just taking it out.
Yeah.
I get it now because Keith Morrison has it.
I have met many people who believe this, and we've met some fans, some listeners who really love your love of Keith Morrison.
Yeah, as they
So they get
should.
it too.
Yes. It's everything that I hoped it would be. He's just, every time I turn into a Dateline and it's him, nothing makes me happier.
Keith Morrison should do historical true crime shows. Like, he
should.
Yeah.
He needs to branch out on his own.
He does.
Hey, come on, Keith.
You're like the lead singer of a popular band. You got to leave the band behind.
Yeah, it's time to be Beyonce and create your
Yeah.
beehive. I never know which way you say that.
Your Morrison Hive?
Morrison.
That's not working at all.
Your
mortuary?
Keith train.
Oh, boy. You heard it here first, Keith.
Your Keith line.
Your Keith line. Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, I'm sure Dateline won't have a problem if you steal the second half of their name. And
Not at all. Like, it's fine.
I'm gonna guess he signed a real good non-compete.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Probably every year they renew that sucker.
I bet they do, and the language gets more and more.
Listen, you can't even talk to anyone without crediting NBC Dateline. Because really, he's single-handedly the reason that people watch that.
He's got to be paid a
Yeah.
shit ton.
Oh, I know. I mean, sorry, Andrea Canning. I like you and all, but you're never going to be Keith Morrison. So
Keith's a legend.
he's a legend. Legend.
Speaking of legends.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm proud of myself for that.
Oh, this is
for
going to
that
be good.
one.
I can feel it.
So now we're talking pop culture.
Give it to me.
Movies, TV, whatever. I picked Thelma and Louise.
Oh. Wow.
Gina Davis, Susan Sarandon, 1991. Thelma is in a terrible marriage. That's Gina Davis. She wants some fun. So she and Louise decide to go on a road trip to a fishing cabin. They're going to have a great girls' weekend.
Yes.
But along the way, they stop for a drink at a roadhouse. A real aggressive guy starts hitting on Thelma, and things turn really dark really fast. Now, Thelma and Louise are on another road trip. They're on the run to Mexico because of what happened. They don't think anyone's going to believe them. So they run. What follows is, like I said, a different kind of road trip. But there's major ups and downs along the way, including meeting a boyish Brad Pitt as a drifter on the road. Thelma gets her fun with good old Brad Pitt.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. I mean, that introduced Brad Pitt to me. I had feelings about Brad Pitt after watching that movie. It's like, I'm going to pick up every drifter. Not a good idea.
No, that's not the lesson.
That's
to
not
take
the
from there. Oh,
lesson.
shoot.
Actually,
Unless he has a murder castle.
Unless he has a murder
And then in that case,
castle.
pick him up and go to his murder castle. Nothing will go wrong.
He also teaches Thelma some criminal things. So that takes their road trip on a whole different direction. Thelma and Louise also meet a real gross truck driver who calls them beavers, and he gets a little bit of what's coming to him.
Oh.
It is glorious and gratifying. Have you seen Thelma and
No,
Louise?
I haven't. I know, right?
I was going to say, you're following along and you look surprised. I'm like, you don't know. Oh my God. You have to watch this.
I do.
Yes.
It's been one of those ones that I've always like, I should watch it. And then so now I'm going to have to. So you recommended it, I'm going to do it.
I think in this movie, there's a little bit about how traveling changes you for better or worse. Obviously, not everyone is on the run to Mexico, but
Aren't they though?
maybe eventually.
Oops, I said too
Is
much.
that what dying is, on the run to Mexico?
Yeah, that's what we said that we say when the pets have to go. Oh, they're on the run to Mexico. Just kidding.
I like that. It's way better than the farm upstate.
Yeah, no.
You sent them
They're
to.
on their run to Mexico.
Yeah.
They saw Narcos Mexico and had to get in on it.
I think what's great too is there's a lot of real female friendship, empowerment. There's some really gratifying stuff. There's some terribly frustrating things. It's really interesting to watch this again in our climate sort of right now, the Me Too era. I think this was ahead of its time in a lot of ways. And I think, in fact, when it was released, some of the studios were like, oh boy, I don't know about this. Mm-hmm. They were wrong. It went on to fame and acclaim and history. So I highly recommend it. It's a great movie to watch just on its own. It's a great road trip to watch with all the twists and turns and ups and downs. Oof. Erin,
You're
gonna watch it.
I will. I promise. I'm on it.
If only for Brad Pitt.
Well, yeah, and I'm in right there.
It was one of his first movie roles, and my goodness, is it iconic.
She's got this real face, let me tell you. So much more I want to say.
Sexually.
Oh, okay. We didn't get that. Well, I guess they can't see your face.
Okay,
Yeah. I got that. You guys probably didn't. That's fine. All right. Fair enough. Glad we clarified. Okay.
That sounded like that gross voyeur on the plane. Sexually.
Well, no, that's a different
No, that's
thing.
a different one?
Yeah,
Okay.
You're fine.
All right.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy's
I already
worse.
hate this guy, and I don't even know who he
So
is.
bad.
Somebody's just going to fill that slot when we get on the plane. I'm going to be like, oh, you're
Who's
the
it gonna
guy.
be? You?
You're the voyeur. I'll be able to pick him out when we're waiting for the plane and be like, it's that guy.
Oh, it's that one right
that
there.
guy right there is
It's
going to take
probably-
his shoes off and be weird
Exactly.
about my kids.
I was just going to say that. He's going to take his shoes and socks off.
No.
Yeah.
No,
He's
sir.
gonna do it.
No.
Yeah. And he's
Stop
going to
it.
put them on top of his suitcase.
Stop it.
Air those feet out into the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No. No.
Come to my murder castle,
Yeah.
airplane guy.
Exact. Wow, that was crazy and scary. And I loved it. That was amazing.
I have a basement that's
She does-
murdery as hell.
She really does have a murdery basement.
Maybe
So
I have a murderer house.
a murder basement, that's for sure.
I do. It's
You also
not
have
really
a murder
castle.
cat.
I do.
She really wants to murder someone.
Where is she? She isn't. Oh, she's up in the attic.
Oh.
She's going to come down.
So now you have a murder addict too.
I do have a murder attic.
So basically, your cat has boxed you in your own house.
Yeah.
You can only live on the floors between the attic and the basement. She's claimed those.
She's claimed the other
You never know where she is.
Nope.
And you know she's doing something up
Oh,
there.
God. Yeah. Hatching all
One's a
sorts of plans.
laboratory, one's a murdery area.
She's probably found a way to just go direct, like a tunnel or something.
Oh, you're
She's
right.
probably running around in the walls.
You're right.
Oh, Podcat.
Podcat, settle down.
Yeah. But I respect you.
You know what? You're gonna put that much time and effort into it. At some point, I'll go in the basement. I'll be fully suited up in protective
She'll be like,
armor.
Want to come to my murder castle?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes.
Yeah, shoot, I gave her the keyword. That's all you have to do. Say murder castle. Yep. What you're doing, just meowing by the basement stairs and sort of like motioning with your paw in a weird, like I'm scratching at something way. No.
Nope.
It just seems creepy.
Yeah.
It's like if the guy at the train station was showing just holding a knife. I'm smart enough not to go.
Yeah.
If he hides a knife and says murder castle, full on idiot, I'm going with him.
Moral of this story is, Mike, don't let your wife go anywhere with anyone who says murder castle. Granted, he's not around all the time.
No.
But
no.
if that happens.
Maybe he could just like get a sign for me that says,
yes,
do not let her follow anyone that says murder castle. Then that feels like they probably know to target me. Ugh, this is just a real catch-22.
Oh, my
How am I going to get around this? Just not go to the murder castle, I guess is the answer.
I guess.
Gosh. Damn it.
What do you got, Erin?
Well, my pop culture prick is prick.
Prick? Oh, well, I mean, it relates
It
to what
always
we're
falls
talking
apart
about.
at the end for me. I do so good and then just wheels off the bus. Pop culture pick is An Idiot Abroad.
Oh.
It's a show by the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. So if you don't know that The Office was originally not created here in the United States.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Yeah. Ricky Gervais, genius. So it's basically a practical joke turned into a little experiment with their friends. Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant convinced their friend Carl that they want to go on a road trip with him around the world to the 7 wonders. And they'll pay. And the only kicker is that everywhere they go, he has to immerse himself in the culture, become one of the locals. So what happens is just fantastic. It's not scripted. It's just plain hilarious. Carl has his very own brand of humor and sense of humor. And the reason they call the show An Idiot Abroad is because some of the stuff he says and does, but it's fantastic. Oh my gosh. And it's genius that Ricky Gervais saw this in his friend and said, no, this is exactly, yes, this is perfect. This is going to work. I believe there's like 4 seasons now. So, I put out a couple quotes so you can get the flavor to see if this shows for you. This is Carl speaking. I always have a problem liking things that I'm told I should like. This has been the problem with most of the wonders I have seen so far. The fact that this one is called the Great Wall of China annoys me. I'll decide if it's great or not. It might end up being the all right Wall of China to me.
This kind of sounds like you in a way. Just resisting anyone else's.
This one is about the pyramids.
Okay.
I really can't believe what a state the pyramids are in. I thought they had flat rendered sides, but when you get up close, you see how they're just giant boulders balanced on top of each other, like a massive game of Jenga that got out of hand. And he's talking, I mean, these are the 7 wonders that he's standing in front of, and these are his comments. It's amazing.
Is he a comedian as well?
I don't think that he really was prior to this, but I think he's gotten, so many great moments like that throughout all of it. So
in 4 seasons.
Yeah. It's
so they've
delightful.
gone past the wonders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think he is very akin to you in a lot of his comments. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Not the idiot part.
No,
part
but
about,
just
like,
the,
you know,
like, don't tell me.
I'm not going to conform to whatever you tell me to do.
Yeah. Just because you say it's great doesn't mean, yeah, I can get on board with that. Yeah. So many fantastic moments. It's
wonderful.
It's truly very enjoyable.
Oh, boy.
It's light. I mean, it's not, not anything heavy, but it's also cool because you get to see some, cool things when they're traveling too. So it's a good way to, take in the 7 wonders with some humor.
I'm glad we ended on a light note.
Yeah.
A lot of my picks were kind of dark. Some of yours were dark too.
Yeah.
But hey, aren't all road trips a little bit dark?
Twisty and dark.
A little twisty.
Yeah.
A little like you want to murder somebody, even if you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the hallmark of a road trip for me.
That is. You nailed it when you said it's just driving towards doom. Put that on a throw pillow. We're all just driving towards doom. Oh, goodness.
Well, I think that's it for our road trip episode. What do you think?
Too.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to be back next Wednesday. But in the meantime, if you want more stuff like this, which you do, go to broadsandbooks.com. Check out all the recommendations we made so you can have a nice little list right there for yourself.
You bet. And on the website, we also have some bonus material. There's a gift guide around this season because lots of things happening right around this season. So we got a gift guide there, and we've got more coming all the time.
So much more.
Yeah.
Also, what would be fantastic if you want to do it on our website, you want to do it on the website of your favorite podcast catcher. A review.
Oh, God.
Just a little ditty about what you like.
Little ditty
Just a little.
about Amy and Erin.
Yeah, just a little ditty about Amy and Erin going to a murder castle. I wrote it for you, just so you know. Right there. Just make that the first line.
This whole podcast.
Yeah.
Little ditty.
Just a little ditty about going to a murder castle. So you're just going to write that and then follow it up with something like, you can't believe how great it is to go to the murder castle with these two.
Yes. I will follow them anywhere.
Yes.
Even to a murder castle.
Even to a murder castle.
You know how you start repeating words again and again and they start to sound real weird?
Yeah.
Those words are starting to sound real weird now. Yeah.
Might also be those shrooms that we...
It might have been those two. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I mean,
that didn't happen. I'm
That's
just
our
kidding.
standard.
Yeah. Just kidding. Okay.
And while you're, giving us a review, if you've been listening and you have an idea about a certain thing you want to hear about, if you have a challenge for us to find, books on a theme, man, we'd love to hear that.
We would love it.
We've already released one episode that was a listener suggested theme. And we want more. We loved it so much.
So much.
So send us what you think.
Yes, do it. Do it right now. And you can do that on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, through our website where you can find our email. You can get a hold of us. Trust me.
Yes.
We're not hiding.
No, we're not hiding.
We got nothing
we're
to
waiting
hide.
For your call.
Yes. We're just hanging out in our murder castle, biding our time.
Just waiting.
Waiting for Keith to get his own show.
That's right. And in the meantime, happy reading. I'm up again. Same night, another dream. Before trying this recording thing, I didn't remember much of anything of these dreams. I didn't remember much from any of the women. And one night of doing this, and it's broken things open. The dreams they're in me, and they're coming out of me, and...
To me, I am not broken. I am the most whole, most real.
Cause their despair. I wait for the word. Witch.
Look at the mad woman in her cage. She was a woman with holes inside her. That was the heaviest factor, the final evidence, the heart of the issue.
Somehow, you understand this. You hear me. Wherever you are, whatever this is, you... This isn't a dream journal anymore. It's not. It's just fact. Because now this is some sort of record. What are these dreams? Maybe there's a better question. Who are these women? Weird Woman is a Broads and Books production. All 9 episodes are available January 10th. Listen and subscribe to Weird Woman on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favorite podcast platform. That's WYRD Woman, wherever you listen to podcasts.